Rowdy Nation TV, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about capital punishment. I want to know what you guys, how you guys feel about capital punishment in America, in the American justice system, right? As of the year 2025, we're in the month of June. There's been 19 unalivements by the Justice Department, and I just want to know how you guys feel about capital punishment. Do you agree with it or do you disagree with it? Leave me a comment in my comment section. If you guys want to know how I feel about capital punishment, stay tuned to the story and listen to the end, and I'll tell you how I feel about capital punishment. Now, in the dim corridors of Holman Correctional Facility in Alabama, a cold, sterile hum filled the air. Now, the year was 2025, and the state's death chamber, once dormant, had come alive again, breathing with a new rhythm shaped by innovation, law, and controversy. It had been the year nitrogen hypoxia took its seat alongside the long-standing method of lethal injection, and more chillingly, the firing squad made its way back into the annals of American justice. Wow, that's what I'm saying, people. We got 3 different methods now of how people can be unalived by the Justice Department, right? Leave me a comment in the comment section. I hate to say this, but I want to ask you guys a question. If you were in the position of some of these people who are facing capital punishment, which one would you choose? Lethal injection, firing squad, or nitrogen hypoxia? Which one would you think is is less lethal? You know what I mean? Which one do you think is an easier way to go? Is what I'm trying to say, right? Now, Marion Bowman Jr., the guy you see on your screen right now, was the first in January 31st of 2025. Now, he walked into South Carolina's chamber, eyes closed, lips moving in a quiet prayer, convicted in 2001 for the brutal murder of Candy Martin. His execution marked more than his end. It was the symbolic return of state-sanctioned death for the year. And he wasn't alone. Demetrius Frazier followed 6 days later in Alabama. His life taken not by the needle, but by gas, previously reserved for industrial purposes. He became one of the first men in history to die by nitrogen hypoxia. I really don't know that much about nitrogen hypoxia, but hey, man, either way, it seems, I don't know what's the research they did on that, and why did this man choose that way to go versus that the needle? You know what I mean? To me personally, it seems like the needle would be an easier way to go. I'm just saying. Now, the prison chaplain later asked Frazier for his last words, and he was calm, even poetic. "Tell the world I saw light," he had whispered. Some guards couldn't sleep for days after that, right? You know what I mean? Eerie. Now, Louisiana joined the movement in March. Jesse Hoffman Jr., convicted for a 1996 abduction and murder, was strapped into a sealed hood in a specifically built chamber. The room was still. Doctors outside monitored the drop in oxygen. Cameras rolled, feeding data into the law schools, medical associations, and the policy reform panels. It wasn't just the death anymore. It was about how we unalive people in our criminal justice system. Now, here comes Florida on May 15th. Glenn Edward Rogers, he was executed. His name had haunted headlines for decades. A suspected serial killer, tabloid fascination even tied him, but never proven, to the O.J. Simpson saga. He died with little ceremony. The silence around his case felt deliberate, as if the state itself wanted to close that chapter. You know what I mean? Turn the page is what they was really trying to say. And just days later after that, Tennessee followed with Oscar Franklin Smith, whose 3-decade-old case had raised questions about forensic errors, confession tapes. Protesters gathered outside Riverbend Prison. Some wept, others chanted, some shouted. But inside the prison, Smith barely flinched as the needle pierced his skin. Now, Anthony Wainwright's name is now linked into Florida's books for June 10th. He said publicly, attorneys have filed for clemency. A candlelight vigil is planned outside the governor's mansion. Oklahoma's chamber is being prepped for the June 12th. The condemned man's name is sealed for now. Security is tight. Officials expect media and moral outrage. Still, the numbers tell their own story. 23 total execution by the end of this year. Now, if the schedule holds at this rate since 2018, back when the system seemed to be slowing down, man, it's crazy. What's the question? What the question are we saying about this year in 2025? I don't think it's just about, who died, but I think it's about, what we allowed to be done in our name. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. How far are we willing to go, in executing these inmates? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a story of legal precedent and human consequence of gas and guns and needles. What is going to be the next thing that come out? What's going to be the next thing that they're going to say is a more humane way to unalive somebody, right? It seems like the capital punishment in America is back, and it's like full steam ahead. Leave a comment in my comment section and let me know what you people think about this, right? The year 2025 has jumped off, like I said before, 19 executions in, and we're only in the month of June. I will come back at the end of the year with probably another story and about how, once they finish up on unaliving these people, you know what I'm saying? We'll come back and we'll cover it, and we'll see how everybody feels. Do you think it's just? Do you think that some of these people, that the majority of these people deserve these capital punishment decisions that was held over them by the Justice Department? I don't know, But like I said before, like I told you, I think, personally, this is how I feel. There are some crimes that are so heinous that you just can't come back from that crime. You can't come back from it. You know what I'm saying? There are some crimes where people commit these crimes where kids and women and are unalived in such a heinous fashion that I don't think that you're able to walk amongst us or even live amongst us, even in a prison setting, because you've shown to us your level of violence is just undetermined. It could just reach new heights. You know what I mean? Even in prison, that seems to occur. And I don't want to be the type of person that's paying for a person who really, don't deserve to be amongst us. You know what I mean? That's my personal belief. I just believe that the way they use capital punishment is unfair. I think that we need capital punishment, because I'm going to be honest with you. It's not about justice. It's about vindication. And that's all it is. That's what else can you offer a family member whose whole family's been wiped out by somebody, right? That's not justice. It's vindication when you take this other person's life. Is it morally right? That's up to you guys to decide. Leave a comment in my comment section and let me know. Rowdy Nation TV. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so anytime I drop a video, you guys can be notified. We back. I'm out.